Okay, we'll learn Tractate Shabbos. Chapter 14. The name of the chapter is Shmoina Shotzim. We're holding in Kuf Yud Amud Aleph, 110. Start from the top. Bar Kosher de Pumbediso, officer of Pumbediso. The Tar Kechivaya, who was bitten by a snake. Avet Leisa Chamori Chivoto bePumbediso. There was 13 white donkeys in Pumbediso. He tore them all. That's where we ended off yesterday. Karino lechulu ishtakhu treifa, and he found them to be treifas, meaning that they would have died within the year. Avichadu v'ogisa de Pumbediso ados lemaisolo ochlari. So they went and they found one in a distant area, on the other side of the place from Bedisa, and the lion consumed it. So this is really telling us that it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, it's not meant to happen. He tried 13 of them and it didn't work, and then he went to the other side of town. By the time he got there, the donkey wasn't there. So this is for this type of a medicine of someone that was bitten by a snake. Perhaps a different type of a snake bit him. It was the snake of the rabbis, meaning maybe they cursed him. The leisle asuso, for which there is no cure to this type of a bite. This is the punishment of one who violates rabbinic law. It says anyone who breaches a fence will be bitten by a snake. Amulei, they said to him, Ein, Rabbi, yes, my teacher. This is exactly what happened. Rav passed away. Goza Rav Yitzchak bar Bisna, Deleka delimtiye oso v'gidme leveilulu betavlo. Rav Yitzchak bar Bisna decreed that no one should bring myrtle and palm branches to a wedding celebration, together with bells. It should have been too much of a joy after Rav passed away. Now this officer that we just mentioned before, that was bitten by a snake, he did not listen, and he went and brought myrtle and palm branches to a wedding celebration, together with bells. The issue is to bring it together with bells. I guess that intensifies the joy. So a snake bit him and he died, as related above. So person around whom a snake wrapped itself. If a snake wraps himself around a person, God forbid, should go down into water. Invert a basket over the head of the snake, and then the snake would go away and push it away from him. When the snake climbs up onto the basket, you should throw it into the water, then ascend from the water and flee. A person against whom a snake is enraged. The snake is going after him. If he has a companion with him, he has a friend with him, should ride on the companion for a distance of 4 amas. So this way is off ground. And if not, he should jump over a ditch of water. And if he doesn't have a ditch of water to jump over, he should cross a river. He should mount his bed on 4 barrels, and should sleep under the stars. And also he should bring 4 cats, and tie them to the legs of his bed. He should bring twigs, and cast them there on the floor around his bed. The chishoma kole, so when the cats hear the sound of the snake, ochle le, they will eat it. A person who is being pursued by a snake should run in sandy terrain. It says in 17, the snake cannot move swiftly in sandy terrain, and there it will turn back. That's Rashi's interpretation. If a woman was seen by a snake, and does not know whether or not it has set its mind on her or not. Meaning she doesn't know if the snake is going after her or not. Tishlach mono, she should remove her clothing, v'nishdir kamei, and throw them in front of him. If he winds itself around the clothing, its mind is evidently on her. And if he does not wind itself around the clothing, it has not set its mind on her. So what is her remedy in the event that it has set its mind on her? She should cohabit with her husband in front of it. However, there are those who say that if she does that, its desire will be aroused all the more so. So what's the way, how to handle it? Rather, she should take some of her hair and nails and throw them at it and say, Dishtono ano, I am menstruous, meaning that she's having a period. This is merely an incantation. The woman is not talking to the snake. Okay. And I think snakes cannot hear. I don't know if snakes are capable of hearing anything. Continuing, so the oil bechivyo, a woman who has entered by a snake. What does that mean? Who was entered by a snake. In its desire for her, it says in 21, it had inserted its entire body into her private parts. Wow. So how she should get him out? Livso, she should part her legs, and be made to sit on two barrels. One should bring fatty meat, and throw it on burning coals. She should also bring a basket of crass, a fragrant wine, and put them there. One should mix the wine and cress together. The woman should hold a pair of tongues in her hand, so that when the snake smells the aroma, comes out of her, she will be able to seize it and burn it in the fire. For if she does not do so, it will return to her. Okay, so it seems like up to here, that was the part on the medicinal suggestions or medicinal advice in different types of scenarios. We're going back to the part of the Mishnah. It says, Kol ha'oichlin. A person may eat any foods for healing, and he may drink any beverages. Kol ha'oichlin, the term any foods, what does it serve to include? It serves to include eating spleen as a cure for one's teeth. And eating vetch as a cure for one's intestines. what is karshinin or krishin? It says leaks. Leak. Kol hamashkin, any beverages, la tuyamai. Just to remind ourselves, we discussed previously what type of food we're allowed to eat on Shabbos or drink, what type of beverages we can drink on Shabbos if they have medicinal properties. So allowed to do healing on Shabbos. So kol hamashkin la tuyamai, when we say all beverages or any beverages, what does it serve to include? La tuyamai, la tuyamai tzlofen b'chem. It's to include water in which capers have been soaked, taken together with vinegar. Amali Ravina leRav. Ravina asked Rav, "Ma'u lishtos mei raglayim b'Shabbos? May one drink urine on the Shabbos?" Amar lei tenina. We have learned the answer to this in our Mishnah. Kol hamashkin shoisu meraglayim lo yishosu inshe. One may drink any beverage on Shabbos. Now, people do not drink urine, and thus it cannot be termed a beverage. Therefore, urine is forbidden. Chutz mimeit kolim. One may drink any beverages except for the water of palm trees. The Tana taught in a Baisa, chutz mimeit kolim, except for the water that pierces. Water that pierces. It goes through something. Pierced through. This is in 32. It says it's referring to Egyptian beer, zisom. As the Gemara says below. Shabbos, Shelmi, Magid Mishnah, Ilchas Shabbos, follows different text. Okay. Water that pierces. Man the tonomei dekorim. Now, the one who states the water that pierces, Shem dekim samo, means that it pierces the bile of the gallbladder. Uman domo made the kolim. One who states the water of palm trees, sheyoitzi min shnei dikla, means that it comes out, it issues from between two palm trees. My made the calling. What is the meaning of the water of palm trees? Omar Rabba Bar Buna said, Tartet lo ikamaro. There are two teloi in the west, Eretz Yisrael, and a spring of water issues from between them. The first cup that one drinks of this water loosens the fecal matter. The next cup purges the bowels completely. The next cup comes out as clear as when it went in. I have drunk Babylonian beer, and it is more effective than the water of palm trees. But it is effective only when one had not become used to it over the last 40 days. So it is Egyptian zisum, which consists of type of beer. Zisum is a type of beer which consists of tilto sha'ari, a third barley, veslito kurtemei, a third saffron, vesilto milcho, and a third salt. Papa says til sochite, a third wheat, vesilto kurtemei, a third saffron, vesilto milcho, and a third salt. The Gemara gives a mnemonic for the attribution of these two versions. V'simonich sisone. Your mnemonic is sisone. The Gemara elaborates on this remedy. V'shol silu ben div chola tzarto. One drinks it between Pesach and Shavuos. Pesach and Atzeres. Pesach and Shavuos. Shavuos is called the Atzeres. V'shol silu ben div chola tzarto. Dikmit merapele. When one is bound is referring to constipated. Merapele, it heals him, it loosens his intestines, his bowels. V'dirpe komitlei, and when one is loose, it binds. It does exactly the opposite of whatever the situation is. It does the opposite. Choisigrin, a potion of sterility, creating somebody sterile, potion of sterility. The Gemara describe how this potion is made. How do you make a potion? How to make such type of a potion? My kois ikrin, what is it? Amar Rabbi Yechanan laite maskal zuz okem Alexandria. One should bring a zuz weight of Alexandrian gum. Umaskal zuz agavio gilo, a zuz weight of alum or alum. Umaskal zuz kurkum arishka, and a zuz weight of garden saffron. V'ishchakinu behad adol. So he brings all these ingredients, Alexandrian gum, which it says in 41 that is the sap from trees of Alexandria. Good morning. And then we have the saffron and this zuz weight of alum, alum, and he grinds them all together. Lezavo tloso bechamro. The potion should consist all these three ingredients mixed with wine, and it will not make her sterile. Le'arkoino, for healing jaundice. Terein b'shicha. The potion should consist of 2 of these ingredients mixed with beer, not with wine, umiakar, and it will make the patient sterile. The Gemara lists several cures for a zava, beginning with one mentioned above. The zava tlosa b'chamo v'le miakar. For healing a zava, the potion should consist of all 3 ingredients mixed with wine, and it will not make her sterile. An alternative remedy, v'iloi laite telosa. One should bring 3 kapize shamke parsoi. A kafizoi is a vessel that holds 3 lugin, says in number 1, of Persian onions, large onions. V'nishloik bechamro, boil them in wine. So it's onion boiled in or cooked in wine. Interesting. V'nashkio, and give the potion to the zava to drink. V'neimole, and he say to her, Kum izoyvech, stop your flow. V'loi, and if this didn't work, loiso apashas dochi, one should sit the zava at a crossroads, and have her hold a cup of wine in her hand. Then someone should come up from behind her, and frighten her. Stop your flow. So, frightening somebody can cause, we saw in different sources in the Gemara, sometimes the opposite reaction, either causing a flow to start or causing a flow to stop. Over here we see that it causes it to stop. And if this didn't work, one should bring a fistful of cumin. We call it in Hebrew kamun, over here it's chamoino in Aramaic. Fistful of cumin. Uvoino de moriko, a fistful of saffron. Uvoino de shavlilto, a fistful of fenugreek. V'nishlik b'chamra, one should boil them in wine. V'nashkiye, and give it to the zava to drink. V'neim olei, then he should say to her, Kum v'zevich, stop your flow. If this didn't work, like to shiti in shi de dono, one should bring 60 clay seals of beryl. the covers of the barrel, velish be'iyah, and smear them on her, velemalo, and say to her, kumizevech, stop your flow. Velo, and if not, laite pashtina, one should bring pashtina. What is pashtina? It says in number 6, an herb. It does not grow upwards, but spreads over the ground. Velishlik b'cham, boil it in wine, velashpe, smear it on her, venemalo, and say to her, kumizevech, stop your flow. Velo, laite charoingo, the igisol miso, one should bring charoingo. What is charoingo? It says in number 8, the name of a thorn bush. It's the name of a thorn bush. Plant found in the vicinity of a omisa bush. One bush is found next to the other. Omisa bush is also a type of herb. It grows near thorn bushes. Velikle, burn it. Velisbo v'shachaki dechinto v'kaito, and take its ashes in linen rags in the summer. V'shachaki da'amar gufna v'sisvo, or in cotton rags in the winter. V'loi licher sheva biri. One should dig 7 holes. Velikle be'u shabishto yadu de'olo, and burn a branch of a young olive vine in each one of them. Velinkit akosta decham v'yada, then one should have her hold a cup of wine in her hand. Velukum me'ah, stand her up from one hole. Velusva'ah, and sit her over another. Velukum me'ah, and again stand her up from that hole. Velusva'ah, and sit her over another. Kol chado v'chado, and each time she stands up, leima lo, one should say to her, kumizevech, stop your flow. V'lo, if this doesn't work, laitis semida, one should bring fine flour, v'liskon pago satoi, smeared over the lower half of her body. Leima lo, say to her, kumizevech, stop your flow. V'lo, and if this didn't work, laiti biasu danamiso, one should bring an ostrich egg. Velikle, burn it. Take the ashes in linen rags in the summer. Or in cotton rags in the winter. And if this didn't work, one should open a barrel of wine for her sake. If this didn't work, link it she'oto the mishtakchot b'chfusa dechud nachivo. One should take a barley grain that was found in the dung of a white mule, inokta chadyama, if she holds it for 1 day, poskot trayama, her flow will stop for 2 days. Inokta trayama, if she holds it for 2 days, it will stop for 3 days. Poskot losayama, inokta losayama, poskot loilom, and if she holds it for 3 days, the flow will stop forever. The Gemara quotes from a statement recorded above. One should take the head of a salted shibuta, a species of fish. This is what shibuta is, a type of fish. Boil it in beer, ve'lishtei, and drink the potion. Ve'loi, and if not, laite munine de kamte, one should bring juice of locust. Ve'leika munine de kamte, if there is no juice of locust available, laite munine de nekiri, one should bring juice of nekiri, type of a small bird. Then one should take the patient into a bathhouse. And smear the juice on him. And if there is no bathhouse available, one should stand him between an oven and a wall, and smear the juice on him there. Amar Yochanan said, one who wants to warm the patient, should wrap him well in his sheet. Patient sheets, alternatively the sheet of someone else, also suffering from jaundice. The Gemara records a successful implementation of this remedy. Worked out. Here's an example. Rav Bar Yosef Chosh Bey, Rav Bar Yosef suffered from jaundice. Over le Rav Kahana, Rav Kahana performed the above treatment on him. V'itase, and he was cured. So what did he do to him? The last one we learned that he took juice of locust. If there's no juice of locust, juice of nikre, which is juice of a small bird. Take the patient to a bathhouse, smear the juice on him. Or the last part is someone who suffers out of chills. It's cold. Wants to warm the patient. The patient's suffering of being too cold. So it was tested on Rav Bar Yosef, and he was cured. V'iloi, and if not, laite tloso kafizi tal parsiosa. One should bring 3 kafize, a vessel that holds 3 lugin, sloso kafize di koro, the nishtrufe, and 3 kafize of wax that had dripped from and overflowing honeycomb, sloso kafize alo telono, and 3 kafize of red aloe, velishlokineu b'shichra, and one should boil them in beer, velishte, and the patient should drink the potion. V'loi, and if not, laite ilo var chamro, one should bring a fowl of a donkey. V'liglach metziosa dereisho, shave the middle of the patient's head. V'lishbiklei doma pusi, draw blood from the fowl's forehead. V'lizameine, put the blood on the shaved part of the patient's head. V'lizameine delole samra, however, he should take care of his eyes, lest the blood blind them. V'iloi, and if not, later reisho davar chodemanach b'chivsho, one should bring a ram's head that had been pickled. V'lishlek b'shicha, boil it in beer. V'lishte, and the patient should drink the brew. V'iloi, and if not, laite dovo acher chutorno, one should bring something else that is speckled. Velikre, tear it open. Velois v'alibe, and put it on the patient's heart. Veiloi, and if this doesn't work, laite kaute mikust mikavtuso de mishri, one should bring leeks from the middle of the rows of the field, and maybe that would work. A successful implementation of this cure, Autayo, there was this Arab, the Choshbe, who was suffering from jaundice. Omer leginoi, said to the gardener, Shekol glimai, take my cloak as a payment, ve'avli mishro dechalti, and give me a row of licks. So the gardener gave him yoivle v'acholo, and he ate it. Omer le, the Arab then said to the gardener, Ushlan glimoich, lend me your cloak, ve'igne ve'kala, and I will sleep in it a little. Ikach gonobe, he wrapped himself in the cloak and slept in it. Kad ichman vekom, when he became hot, he got up. Nofal puta mine, the cloak fell away from him in small pieces. Very strange. Look at number 30. It says, the burning effect of the disease emerged with perspiration and destroyed the cloak. Wow. It was that hot. So the Gemara again quotes from the statement recorded above in 110a, Le'akoino terin v'shircho me'aka. For healing jaundice, the potion should comprise 2 of the 3 ingredients: Alexandrian sap, alum, and saffron, mixed with beer, and it will make the patient sterile. Umishrei, and is it permissible to do that? The Gemara, in general, question. It's a very interesting question. The whole concept of steriles is allowed to somebody to do this process, to do this procedure. Umishrei. Sorry, my people calling me. So umishrei, and is it permitted to drink a potion that causes sterility? V'atanyo l'sius b'odom shuosu. From where is it derived that castration is forbidden in the case of a person? How do we know not allowed to do it? Castration. Talmud Lemar, the pasuk states, "Uve'altzechem lo yitasu," because it says, "In your land you shall not do this. You shall not castrate an animal," which is interpreted as though it read, "Bochem lo yisasu." It should not be done to you, to people. Div Rabbi Chanina. These are the words of Rabbi Chanina. So if you look at 32, obviously it's a lengthy discussion about this whole concept. But as it says, Uva Artzechem, and in your land, seems inappropriate because this prohibition applies even outside Eretz Yisrael. The word is therefore available for the following derivations from the word noun Eretz, land. It inferred anything in the land, even those species of animals ineligible to be offered as sacrifices, may not be castrated. Dogs, cats, and the like. It's not a simple thing. People who castrate dogs and castrate dogs and cats. See, from here we see it's not so simple. Even, it says clearly, even those species of animals ineligible to be offered as sacrifice, for example, dogs, may not be castrated. So, Div Rabbi Chanina, these are the words of Rabbi Chanina, question mark. This matter, the prohibition of castration, applies where one intends to damage any of the productive organs themselves. Here, however, the castration occurs by itself. It occurs indirectly without external manipulation of any organs. So over here, the Gemara tells us really a loophole. I'm not saying that this is the halacha, but to someone physically do a surgery and manipulate one of the organs, it's a problem. But it seems like the potion itself, someone takes a potion and it does its own thing. It does it. It's not as, seemingly it's not as bad. But let's see, 33. The Gemara is proposing that the Torah forbids castration only if it is performed directly on the reproductive organ itself. One severs the organ. It does not prohibit castration through indirect means, such as drinking a potion that causes sterility. Our Listener follows Chidush Haran, who states that the word mikaven, intention, someone intends to do something, is not used here precisely, for the issue is not the nature of his intent, but the nature of his act. And going to 110b3, one who wants to castrate a rooster, itol karbolte, should remove his crest, umistoris melav, when it becomes castrated on its own accord. It says in 34, the Gemara currently assumes that a rooster deprived of its crest is incapable of copulating. Hence, this ruling proves that castration through indirect means is permitted. castration through indirect means. The rooster is seized by arrogance when adorned with its crest. When this source of its pride is removed, you're taking away the source of its pride. It grieves over the loss, he cries over the loss and refrains from copulation. He's upset, so he loses its excitement. It is not actually castrated at all. So it's nothing to do with castration. It's just you take away its ego, you take away its pride. You remove the rooster's pride, he doesn't want to go, he doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to copulate anymore. At this point, just to mention, the Gemara speaks about roosters as being the Tarnagolim roosters are being one that are excessively occupied with copulation. So over here, taking away its crest, its carboilus, it causes him to lose interest. At this point, since the Gemara has no basis for asserting that indirect castration is permitted, the above difficulty, why is one allowed to drink a potion of sterility, has been reinstated. A different solution is now proposed. Ela besoris, rather the reference is to one who is already castrated. Only such a person would be allowed to drink a potion that causes sterility. Everyone agrees that if one processes a leavened mincha, chametz mincha, after another already had to process the leavened mincha, shuchayev, that he is liable. What's the connection? It says in number 2, a mincha menachos, a flour offering, is a temple offering whose primary ingredient is flour, in either its raw form or as a baked or fried cake. Now, those menachos which are offered on the altar, all menachos except from the shtei halechem, the bread of Shavuos, and some loaves of the toida bread, which are entirely eaten, may not be leavened. They're not allowed to be chametz. So one who deliberately causes a mincha to be chametz, to be leavened, or processes leavened dough as a mincha, is punishable by malchus, by lashes. So the Gemara point here is that anyone who participates in the preparation of somewhat in the leavened state, for example, if someone needs a leavened dough for mincha, then another shapes the dough. So one is kneading and one is shaping, and a third person puts it in the oven. All three are liable. And we'll stop here. We'll continue, God willing, tomorrow.